Hello, friends. Welcome to Coffee Break. This is Dr. Michele Lignay. I am excited for this week's topic. I hope that you will join me for the next 30 to 40 minutes for this Tuesday and our session because we're going to talk about one of my favorite topic. Yung bang kahit na maghapon natin pag-usapan, I can just sit down with you and find the reflection points, insights, and sharing about this topic. And that is about restoring your self-love. Bakit ko naman ito naisip? Well, last week, of course, that's Valentine's Day. I had some engagement. I have speaking engagements regarding this topic and regarding love in general. Ayan, so while we're waiting for our friends here at Coffee Break, I would like for you um, batiin natin yung mga naunang-una. Ayan, si Mia Bueno. Valedictorian ka today, moms. Congratulations. Salamat, friend, for being so early and really present. So, pag-usapan natin to, ha? Huwag ka muna mag-multitasking. So, sa mga friends natin, huwag muna kayo mag-multitasking. Masarap talaga tong pag-usapan over tea or coffee. So, this is really about self-love. This is really about you. Let me just turn that off. So, ayan, gusto ko yan, restoring self-love. Alam ko, pag tinanong niyo ako, bakit ba natin mahalagang bisitahin tong topic na to, Doc? Tanungin ko muna kayo, nabasag ba kayo itong nakaraang taon? Yan. Yung mga nandito, hi Rie, hi Mia. Tanong ko sa inyo, nabasag ba kayo nitong nakaraang taon? Sa tingin mo ba, kailangan natin tong topic na to? Eh, Doc Itchel, you talk about this topic before. You talk about this way back. Yes, but this is really kaya nga restoring self-love. Kailangan ko magkape. And bakit restoring self-love? Because we always need to actually remind ourselves that truly we are loved. Hindi ba? Ang dami na nating nabigay. Ang dami na nating hugot. Ang dami na nating stress. At ang dami na nating na-encounter sa buhay. Just for this 1 year, I know that it's very critical. Kaya sinimulan ko rin yung conversation right now. I know because we all need it. So, magkakape ko. Ang sarap ng mainit na kape kahit na mainit yung hapon kasi mainit yung topic natin. So, okay, friends. Pag narinig niyo yung topic, when you saw this topic, self-love, what's the thing that comes to your mind? What is it that you thought? Diba? Self-love yan. So, Doc, ano ba yung self-love? Ano ba yung nakikita ko? Ayan, sinasabi mo. What about self-love? What is it that we need to talk about? Kaya alam nyo, my topic is actually restoring it. When we say restore, bisitahin natin what's really happening inside you, what's really, kahit na I think paulit-ulit natin na pag-usapan to, as I said, because there will always be growth points regarding self-love. Hindi, for me it's not self-love yung somebody here answered putting ourselves first. It's not selfishness, yes, and that's one way of looking at it. But let me just tell you this bluntly as we start this topic. All relationships, all successful, all healthy relationships are founded on a healthy sense of self-love. Ulitin ko, all relationships, spouse relationship or marriage relationships, parent-child relationship, friendships, family relationships, lahat yan naka-anchor with a healthy sense of self-love. Why did I say that? Because we're always looking at self-love that's coming from within. But I would like us to look into the more spiritual perspective of this. Because self-love, it's actually the core of our love for God. Because deep in our hearts, it's when we say self-love, feeling natin, it's all about us. But I would like you in this topic that we talk about self-love and we operate it from the perspective that we are loved first. Right? You heard about that many times. We are God's beloved. We operate from the love of God that has been given to us already. And since nasa atin na natin yan, all we need to do is actually to reciprocate on that love. I think many get it all wrong. Bakit marami ang napapako sa relasyon? Naitanong niyo na ba yon? Bakit ang dami na parang napapako sa relasyon? Bakit ang dami na ah, parang pag nawala ng relasyon, bumabaksak? Bakit there's so many people who who are going through one relationship after another? Yes, we love these people and we give our all. But I believe that we created the wrong equation. We created the more worldly connotation. So I think I will just start first with what is it that what is it that we really need in every relationship? Actually, kailangan mo ba ng self-love sa relasyon mo sa asawa mo? Kailangan mo ba ng self-love sa relasyon mo sa pamilya mo? Kailangan mo ba yung self-love na yan? Di naman yan uso dati sa relasyon mo sa anak mo. Kailangan ba natin to? Actually, you have to know that, as I said earlier, it's the anchor. It's the template. It's the pattern by which all healthy relationships are formed. Kung paano natin tinuturing yung sarili natin, how we treat ourselves is actually the way we would dictate to the world, this is how I would like to be treated. No, it's not demanding, but later on I will put through here if you're becoming entitled already. I would like to ask you first, why do you think relationships fail? Bakit sa tingin nyo na maraming mga relasyon bumabaksak? Maraming mga one after another ang relasyon. Bakit maraming nagiging bigo sa relasyon? Maraming nagiging sugatan? Is it because they got into the wrong relationship? Is it because they got into the wrong partner? What do you think? Let me just wait first for your answer and then say, while I'm waiting for your answer, I'm saying hi to the people here. Rie, Mia, Jane, Eliza, Fina. So meron ba? Ano sa tingin nyo ang sagot? Oh, hi Ma'am Marilu. I hope you're okay. Thank you for sending stars. Ayan. Walang communication, misunderstanding. Ang dami mong sagot, friend. Nauubos sa kabibigay. Ayan. Codependency. Ayan si Ma'am Jean. Talagang may hugot yan. Codependency. Yung sinasabing nauubos sa kabibigay. Misunderstanding. And even that point that codependency, where do you think that came from? Saan galing yun? Why did that arise? Why did that happen? Why did that manifested in the first place? Any thoughts? Para ko nagki-quiz, no? Surprise quiz! Anyway, but I would like you to look into konektado ba itong nauubos sa kabibigay? As I said earlier, many relationships failed because of actually the wrong equation for love. Because we say that many have said that in a relationship, di ba meron sinasabi dati, girl, pag nagkarelasyon ka, magtitira ka, wag mong ibigay sa kanila lahat. Wag mong ibigay sa mahal mo lahat. Have you heard of that? Magtitira ka daw. Ayan, sabi ni Mia, nauubos sa kabibigay. So, nagtira ba tayo? Actually, if you look at it from a perspective of love, you just don't give love. You give it to yourselves first so that you have more love to give. We cannot pour. We cannot pour from an empty cup. Kaya gusto ko tayo analogy. Kung ibubuhos ko itong lahat at ibibigay ko sa iba, anong matitira sa sarili ko? Wala. Diba, Dok, selfish yun? Look at it this way. Self-love is the core of our love for God and our acceptance, the acceptance and the value that we give ourselves. The people and the relationships around us are bonus. So, when we have that healthy sense of self-love, we operate from a posture. Check this out. We operate from a posture that we have a relationship with ourselves and with God. pinag-connect natin yung dalawa, kinonekta natin yung sarili natin sa source. We are actually like charging ourselves. And that is actually where the love comes from. For example, in our mobile phones, sa telepono, paano natin magagamit ng maayos yung telepono? Ita-charge natin sa source of power. Kaya importante yung charger, kaya importante yung electricity, di ba? So, if we don't charge ourselves and connect ourselves like this, ito yung, I have to show this to you. Ito yung cord, di ba? Ito yung cord ng charger. Kung hindi natin i-connecta yung sarili natin from our true source of power, and we just give, we run empty. And we cannot run on an empty battery. Have you experienced that? Running on empty battery? Parang what you call this, tinitipid mo yung text mo, hindi mo magamit, hindi ka maka-function ng maayos kasi paubos na yung battery, kasi naiwan mo yung charger, you did not connect to the source, you did not plug into the source. And because of that, when we look at that, the love that we give other people is operating from that. We are full to begin with. Meron tayong ibubuhos, meron tayong bibigay. We have lots of energy. We have love to share. But if we are operating from that posture, so that is operating from the posture of love. If we operate from the posture of lack, love and lack, the posture of love and the posture of lack, I feel that nobody gives me attention. I will show them that I love them, so they will love me back. I will buy this for my loved ones. Kasi parang para malaman nila na mahal ko sila. Kasi parang I feel that nobody is taking care of me. So, aalagaan ko sila ng aalagaan. So, para makuha ko yung attention nila. Yan. So, I don't want to let go of my kids. Sino na lang yung mag-aalaga sa akin? Who will affirm me? Where will my sense of worth be? And that is operating from a posture of lack. So, if you see, a lot of people get into relationships operating from a posture of lack. They want the other people, their loved ones, to fill in their need, to fill in their longing, to fill in kung ano yung hindi nila mabigay sa sarili nila. They are somehow unconsciously, maybe consciously, expecting that, hey, this person, bibigay niya sa akin yung gusto ko, bibigay niya sa akin yung matagal ko nang gusto, ibibigay niya sa akin yung pangarap ko sa buhay. Siya yung sagot sa aking mga sa katuparan ng buhay ko. And actually, that is operating from a posture of lack. Because what if that person fails you? How will you be? What if that person failed to give you what you need? Or maybe give you something else, but that's not what you want. So we'll be forever pining ourselves and sense of self-worth simply because this person did not love us the way we want to be loved and treated. Are you getting me, friends? So here, look at it. Tingnan mo yung look at love. Look at your life as a cup. Cup. This pretty cup. Puno ba yan para meron kang mainom at mabigay? Or are you expecting some people to keep refilling your cup? Or are you always carrying something that will fill that cup? Alam mo kung saan yung source mo. Alam mo kung saan ka kukuha ng hot water at kape para ipuno dyan. Or you're expecting other people to do that work for you. You get it from the attention. So, di ba, yung I saw a lot of people, in social media, talaga naman ang mga post na ang ganda-ganda naman talaga. Pero ang tagline at ang hashtag lang nila, this is self-love. O, di ba? Ang ganda. While they look good. They look good. Not after anything. But you see, is this what self-love is all about? Ito lang ba to? So friends, think about that. You think that in your loving relationships, let's focus first on your partner in life, or maybe your family, or maybe even your kids. Are you operating from a posture of love because you're connected to your source, which is God? Or are you operating from that posture of lack. And when I say posture of lack, you are expecting other people to fill you. You are expecting these people to complete you. You are expecting these people to fill in your needs, to fill in the lack that you have. Nasaan tayo dito? And why do I would like us to reflect about this? Sabi ko sa inyo, I can go on and on with this topic. And why is it that I said that it's all about restoring our love for self? Because, tada, healthy relationship starts with loving yourself. Kaya madalas, we get into dysfunctional relationship, we get into codependent relationship, we go through one relationships after another, maybe because we're looking for ourselves in that person. We're looking for the right person to fill in that. And what if we don't have the right person? Or we may have the right person, but what if that person fails us? Or paano pag nawala siya? How can I live without you? Yan yung nangyayari, friends. Kaya if you look at songs, napakaraming songs is actually, many songs are stemming from unhealthy sense of self-love. Like, how can I live without you? How can I live without you? How can I live without you? Paano ka mabubuhay nang wala ka? Mabubuhay ka pa rin as long as meron kang hininga. Our lives are not actually supposed to be dependent on other people, but kaya nangyayari yung codependent relationships. We are expecting to be filled by other people. So, as I said, healthy relationships is actually one of the areas wherein we need to enrich because it's one of the key points of our well-being. And as I said earlier, relationships fail because we think that somebody will complete us, because we think that they are the missing piece in our puzzles. And as I said earlier, like in the song, we think that we cannot live without this person. So I would like you to shift from that mindset. Because as I said earlier, for those of you who just came in, as I said earlier, these things are not the sole basis of relationship, because the equation is that we don't operate from a state of lack, but we operate from the state of love. Ang ginagawa natin pag tayo nagmahal, inuuna natin yung mahal natin, and then ang kasunod nun is that saka na lang ako. Walang masama doon kung we are selfless, pero baka naman you have less of yourself, right? So, as you're saying, Belle, you cannot give what you don't have. So, if you love yourself, you can give the extra love to others. It's actually, for me, it's maybe extra. Maybe think of it also as an overflow. Yung puno ka. Kaya the equation that we're looking for is actually, we make it the core of our love. The core of our love is the love that others are giving us through our relationship. But in all honesty, whatever religion we have, the core of our love is actually the relationships that we have with God. Tayong dalawa accountable doon. Tayong dalawa yung nagkaintindihan. Tayong dalawa yung magpupunuan, Lord. If we get some loving and attention and affection from other people, that's the biggest bonus of them all. Because we also give from the posture of overflow. Hindi, overflowing love, the right term. Thank you. Yes, because we overflow. Yun yung on top. Yun yung on top. Kaya hindi nyo ba napansin? Um, pag nakakaubos talaga ang mapunta sa isang relasyon. Nakakaubos. And when stressful events happen, if that relationship that we put all our energies on, we put all our love on, pag yan ay bumaksak, baksak ang buo nating pagkatao. Parang, sino ba ako kung wala siya? Yan, ganyan na yung mga labanan ng tanong. Sino ba ako kung wala siya? Ano na lang ang mangyayari sa akin? We don't know who we are anymore. Because literally, we put all our love on that person alone. Because loving yourself is actually, take note of this, loving yourself is the prerequisite for healthy relationships. Can you say that with me? Loving myself is the prerequisite for healthy relationships. Loving myself is the prerequisite for a successful relationship. We don't look at it anymore na is sila muna. Kaya natin minahal yung sarili natin kasi para marami tayong mabigay. We want to serve. And I think even, and you say, but the Bible says love your neighbor. Yes, that's true. I'm not going to contest that. The Bible said love your neighbor. But the Bible said, di ba? The two greatest commandment, love God above all things. Si Lord muna. And the second commandment is love your neighbor as you love yourself. That word, as, A-S, love your neighbor the same way you love yourself. Hindi sinabing love God, love your neighbor more than you should love yourself. No, love your neighbor the same way that you love yourself. So that self is connected with the love that we love that we give, we love that we get from the true source, which is God. And then the love for neighbor, di ba? Powered up, exponential. Kaya kaya na may kapasidad tayong magmahal sa pamilya. Meron tayong mataas ang ating threshold for pain. We can bear suffering, we can bear difficulties and hardship because in the first place, we plug ourselves with the source of love, and that is God. Am I making sense? Are you still here, friends? Thank you for telling me. Thank you for putting here. Loving myself is a prerequisite for a successful relationship. And that is true because, as we move forward to being adults, I'm sure if you're listening to Coffee Break, you are in your late 20s maybe or in your 30s, 40s or so on. Because we adults, we have that what we call that process of getting to know ourselves, restoring our worth. Sa dami ng nangyari sa buhay natin, sa dami ng tinik na tinapakan, sa dami ng mga pinagdaanan, sa dami ng everything that we went through, it's actually shaking us down. Kumbaga, in the terms of the young ones ngayon, we're shook to our bones. We get into other pit bottom experiences. Sobrang daming nangyari sa buhay natin. Maybe we have death in the family, maybe loss of a work, loss of a loved one, loss of a dream, and ang dami niyan. And if you see that, it's like ripping us off from all direction. Na-overhaul yung ating equilibrium. Our inner harmony is actually very much tested. That's why you have to remember that we have to continuously restore it. Sa bawat dagok, sa bawat nangyari sa buhay, kailangan nating upuan and kumustahin yung sarili natin. We have to check in with ourselves. Kumusta ka? Mahal mo pa ba yung sarili mo? Ayusin mo muna yung sarili mo. Because I've heard that the place within us to generate self-love is the exact same place that attracts authentic love. Kung totoo natin mahal yung sarili natin, yung intimacy that we have with ourselves, that's exactly where the intimacy with someone would start. But that intimacy we have with the self is connected with the one who created the self. And that is God. That's Belle, you're saying about midlife. Yes. For those of you who who are new here in Coffee Break, I just would like you to know that I have this book. Nasa tabi ko siya ngayon kasi I'm writing a new book. Pray for me that I can launch a new book this year. So this is my book way back 2019. It's called The Beauty of 40 and Wrapping the Gift of Midlife. Actually, the book has 3 parts. It has about self-worth, it has about self-love, and that's about self-care. But it's all about in the context of midlife. Why? In midlife, sa dami ng nangyari na sa atin, kailangan nating kumustahin yung relasyon natin sa sarili natin. 'Di ba? Thank you, Belle. Gusto ko yun, kumusta ka self, mahal pa ba kita? Ang sarap, tama Mimi. Napakarami ng dagok sa nangyari. Kaya if we are always waiting for people, our loved ones, our friends, actually. Na kumustahin tayo. Minsan naman, actually, pag nag-intay tayo, we are so dependent on the attention and the affection of other people that has for us. Baka busy sila. And we cannot expect them to give us that. Sorry to say and sad to say, even our partner, even our closest friends might be too busy with their lives also. So, kung tayo ay may pinagdadaanan, you have to be, we have to deepen that restoring our self-love is actually restoring a good relationship with ourselves. You can never be truly intimate with someone if you are not intimate with yourself. That is so true. I have to repeat that. You can never fully be intimate with someone if we are not intimate with yourself. Hindi ka totoong magkakaroon ng malalim at magandang relasyon kung hindi mo kilala at mahal ang sarili mo. Maybe meron pero mababaw. Maybe meron pero baka madaling bumigay. Have you reflected that? Is that applicable to people who are single in the relationship? Yes. Baka you just might think that only a relationship can complete you. The sad thing is that we live in the world where parang ang solusyon sa lahat ng nangyayari sa buhay is actually to get married. Um, it may be true, but it may not only be the main route. Because kung ang makukuha mo naman ay sorry, I have to use this word. Kung ang makukuha mo naman asawa ay alagain lang at hindi naman kayo magko-compliment ng love for each other, and then get out of that mode that only a relationship can complete you, because you might be complete within yourself even if you are single. So if you are married, maybe it's time also to sit down and reflect, how is my relationship with myself, with the many demands that I have for work, with the many demands that my kids have, with even the demands that my husband have. Kumusta naman ang relasyon ko sa sarili ko? Naaasikaso ko pa ba yung sarili ko? I believe that we don't give excuses anymore. Hindi na natin pwedeng sabihin na di ko na nga maasikaso yung sarili ko sa dami ng ginagawa eh. Because even the simple act of washing dishes, even in doing some house chores, we can actually start talking to ourselves, checking in with ourselves habang nagre-reflect. Ako, ang paborito kong reflection is actually pag naglilinis ng banyo. We can actually reflect, kumusta ba ako? Ano nga bang nangyayari sa sarili ko? It's actually a way to quiet down. So, diba, we don't have any excuse not to check in ourselves, because we cannot wait for others to do that for us. If we keep waiting for our husband to take note of us, if we just rely on the people around us, baka kanya-kanyang buhay tayo, baka everybody's so busy that what you're waiting for may not happen. Am I making sense? What's your take here, friends? I would like to tell you also, some are over functioning for the family because that's their way actually to fill in their self-love. Because they feel that walang mangyayari sa pamilya kung wala sila. Their sense of worth and the love for themselves is actually dependent on what they do and not who they are. That's a sad reality. Kaya when you overfunction, check where is it coming. Is it from the posture of lack or is it the posture of love? Kasi if you really love the people you love, you will not overfunction for them because you would like for them to be independent, so everybody happy. But some actually overfunction because they're trying to cover up their sense of insecurity. Kasi sa totoo, minsan kaya nag-overfunction, ayaw mong makitang may mali ka. Ayaw mong makitang may weakness ka. Ayaw mong may masabi yung iba. Or you want to cover everything because you cannot take failure. So, bakit ganon? So, all these things that's manifesting, if anything in excess, it's not healthy. You have to remember that. So, there you go. So, kung, for example naman, if you're a mom, a mother of 3, 4, or 5, you have to always check, saan nga ba galing ang pagmamahal ko sa pamilya ko? Because I do things for them, like what I'm saying earlier, because I'm doing this for them. Pag hindi ko ba to ginawa, mahal pa rin nila ako. Pag ba hindi ko sila anisikaso, Aasikasuhin kaya nila ako? Ayan. Yan yung magandang ma-check, friends. Kasi kung talagang mahal natin ang sarili natin, kaya natin minsan mag-say no. Yung bang sabihin sa, okay, I'm not feeling well, I need to take care of myself today. No ifs, no buts. So you have to check where is it coming from. Is it coming from a lack because of sense of lack, a posture of lack, or a posture of love? So that's so hard truth that I'm sharing here, friends. So there you go. Those are the things that I would like you to think about. So, and especially for, this is a warning, especially for people who are in the midlife stage. Kaya ang taas ng self-love check on midlife. Kasi it's a way, psychologically, we are checking if andito ba ako sa stage na to? Kilala ko pa ba sarili ko sa dami ng nangyari sa akin? Mahal ko ba talaga sarili ko? Kasi ayaw na natin, we don't want to grow old bitter. We want to grow old better. That's the focus of my book, The Beauty of 40. That's what, because unwrapping the gift of midlife is realizing that midlife is actually where we choose the better life, where we choose where is our self-worth anchored, where is our sense of fulfillment anchored. If I don't love the way they see me, or if I don't love the way people told me that I should love, will I still feel loved? Will my love be reciprocated kung hindi ako magluluto ng ulam at hindi ko ipe-prepare ang bahay para sa kanilang lahat? That is a very good reflection point. Okay? And also, we have to check for adults, all of us. Do you accept yourself? Kasi minsan, we are trying to do outward things simply because we don't want to other people to focus on our insecurities. We don't want to accept ourselves. We don't want to accept our weakness. Kaya pinagtatakpan mismo natin ang sarili nating kahinaan. Hindi natin inaamin ang kasalanan natin. Hindi natin inaamin na I need help kasi baka I don't want people to see me as weak, may dramang ganyan. Ayokong mawala siya kahit na dysfunctional na yung relasyon namin. Halimbawa, you're married and you are in a unhealthy relationship, you need to move out but hindi ka makalabas kasi wala kang inner resources. You think na mas mamamatay ka pag wala kang kasama sa buhay. There you go. You know, nasa na ba ako sa sinasabi ko? Are you still with me, friends? So there, self-love is actually over coated. It's coated with the sense of fulfillment. It's coated with titles. Nako, minsan tinatanong ko yung sarili ko yan. Sa dami ng letra sa pangalan ko, I'm registered blah blah, and then the PhD. Pag tinanggal yan, pati pag tinanggal mo yung Mrs., ako pa rin si Michele. Anak ni Lord. I'm the daughter of the Lord. And I think that's the invitation there. When you check your roles in your life and you stop fulfilling the role, will you still love yourself? When we check the positions and the titles that you have in your life, will I still be the same person if I don't have this title, this position? When you check the material things that you have, magandang reflection yan. Mahal ko ba talaga yung sarili ko o magaganda lang yung gamit ko? Yan. At kunyari, mahal ko yung sarili ko kasi binilan ko yung sarili ko ng ganito. Pero, tanggap mo ba yung sarili mo? So, that's another area to look into. Remove all the tangible, the things around you, the things that's coating you. And realize that are you loving yourself the way you are? Are you accepting yourself with your flaws, flabs, and failures? Do you still smile and thank God that you are alive simply because you are you? You are you, even without this title, even without this position, even if you remove the title of being a mother, even if you remove the title of being a wife, ikaw pa rin ba ikaw? May sarili kang identity, may sarili kang lakas or strengths, meron kang sariling weaknesses, and you're embracing of that. That is actually self-love. As I said earlier, it's actually that The core, it's self-love for me is the core of our love for God and our acceptance for ourselves, both our strengths and weaknesses. It's so good to reflect about this because in truth, self-love is what we need to be able to age gracefully. Self-love is what we need to be able to navigate the storms of life. Hindi ba? Kasi kung halimbawang na-wipe out yung buhay natin, alam ba natin kung sino tayo? Pag sinabi niyo na, Doc naman, na-wipe out yung buhay, ako, feeling ko talaga na-wipe out ang buhay ko nung dumating yung Undoy. Kasi lahat ng baby pictures ko nawala. Hanggang, as in talagang totally soak. Hindi yun mga nakuha. Kasi yung iba nasalba nila. Walang nasalba dyan. And because of that, I realized that salamat kay Lord dahil buo ako. Kasi feeling ko, those parts of me, those help me be who am I, they were wiped out. And so pag tinanggal natin yung mga ganung bagay, pag tinanggal mo yung bahay mo, titulo mo, hindi titulo ng bahay, title mo sa buhay, posisyon mo, ikaw pa rin ba ikaw? Tanggap mo ba yung sarili mong kakayahan? Tanggap mo ba yung kaya mong gawin at hindi mo kayang gawin? And how much of that love are you reflecting on your life? And that is what I'm going to move into. How much of that love are you reflecting on your life? How much of that love for yourself are you sharing to the people around you? Are you sharing to the people that you love? Um, Next week, I'm going to share with you some self-love truths that I put down. But for now, I would end with this quote that self-love, it's about you, the person God created you to be uniquely. It's fully accepting yourself. Bakit ko to paulit-ulit na sinasabi? It's fully accepting yourself, friends. Sa panahong ito, tanggapin mo na kung ang buhok mo ay hindi talaga unat. For me, tanggapin mo na rin yung size ng body natin. Ako parang, oh my God, ang braso ko talaga. Yan talaga yan. Kahit na anong gawin ko, ayoko. Tanggapin mo na that that's the way you look and tanggapin mo na ito yung kahinaan mo. Tanggapin mo na. You have to learn to really be accepting of all of you. Because actually, when you look at yourself in the eyes of God, full acceptance of yourself is loving the God who made you. And fully loving yourself is actually connecting yourself to a bigger mission that God has made for you. Binigay sa'yo lahat ng resources, binigay sa'yo yung talento, huwag mong ikumpara yung sarili mo sa timeline ng iba. Huwag mo ikumpara yung itsura mo sa itsura ng iba. I'm sure magkaiba kayo. I'm sure lilitaw ang insecurity natin. There will always be people better than us. There will always be people mas maganda, mas sexy, mas better than sa atin. But if you keep looking at them, we will have more time looking at them. Nagmamarites tayo sa buhay ng iba, but we fail to look at ourselves and to check ourselves, where am I good at? What is it that my life is telling me now? Ano pa yung mga pwede kong mga talento na pag-ibayuhin ngayon? Saan ko pa pwedeng ilagay ang enerhiya ko? Paano ko pa mas mamamahal yung sarili ko para mas magawa ko yung mga mission ni Lord? Paano ko pa mas gagamitin yung talento ko? Earlier, I like the sermon of Father Joel. Today, the gospel is about the supremacy of Peter. Nung si Pedro na punong-puno ng weakness, who denied Jesus many times, that Peter was given the key to heaven is actually a very weak man. He's full of weakness also. And he's like that, di ba? Lahat tayo ganon. May mahalaga pa rin mission si Lord sa atin kahit na parang ang weak natin. And Lorelei, you're saying be contented of what you have. That's true. But I don't believe that we're supposed to be too much satisfied and contented because we make the most of what we have. What do I mean by that? Kung ito yung binigay sa akin, di pag-ibayuhin ko yung talento ko. Galingan ko kung saan ako magaling. I will not be too much complacent, too much content, or too much complacent of just, ito na lang yung binigay sa akin No, ito yung binigay sa akin, kaya pag-iibayuhin ko. May gift sa akin si Lord. Mahal ko yung sarili ko. I'm not going to let myself be treated that way. Mahal ko yung sarili ko. Kaya gagamitin ko yung sarili ko to bless other people. Gagamitin ko yung talento ko to bless the world. Gagamitin ko yung talento ko rin para mas maging maganda yung buhay. So I would like you to reflect about this. One of the questions that was raised to me in a forum that I attended last week is that, what about if it's overly empowered? Ano yung pagkakaiba ng too much entitled and overly empowered with authentic self-love? I think overly empowered and that over empowerment and that fake self-love is that you're trying to be perfect. You're trying to have the stance that you don't need people. You're trying to have that stance with pride. Pride na, mahal ko sarili ko, bahala kayo. But no, but I think true self-love, authentic self-love is that acknowledging that, yes, I love myself, but there are moments that I am weak. There are moments I need help. There are moments that I cannot do anything. I cannot do everything. Ayan, paborito ko yan. And knowing that I have strengths and limits, tao rin ako. And we acknowledge that vulnerability. I love myself and so I would pause first. Hindi ako perfecto. I love myself, so I would just take the time to actually admit that I am not okay. So I think that's where it's coming from. When it's all about self-love and it's becoming an entitlement, we make everything an excuse, even to the point of hurting people. But if it's true self-love that's operating in us, we do things to glorify God and we do things to make lives better and to bless ourselves and to bless other people more. Does that make sense? Malinaw ba yung pagkakaiba? And I hope this episode has blessed you and start making you reflect about self-love, because on Thursday we would reflect on the 7 myths and truths about self-love. I'm so excited for that. So I hope that you join me on Thursday. So that's about it. Thank you for joining me. So i-replay nyo ulit to. Padala nyo sa mga kaibigan nyo na kailangan to. Because as we move along in this month, hindi ko bibitawan tong February without really talking about self-love. Because as I said earlier, self-love is actually the foundation from all relationships are formed. And the true essence of self-love is actually our relationship with God. So, I hope that this has blessed you. I hope that you bless me also by sending the gift of stars, the love for Dr. Michele through stars, or you can actually send us a message so we can give you our GCash account number. So share this to family and friends, share this to your loved ones, and don't forget, friends, sit down with coffee, sit down with yourself, check in with yourself, and ask this big question. Kumusta ka? Paano kita mas mamahalin pa? And baka sumagot si Lord, anak, umupo ka lang. Allow me to love you because you don't know how immense and how deep my love for you is if you allow me to do it for you. So, I hope that this has helped you. This is Dr. Michele Alignay. Bubulol ako. This is Dr. Michele Alignay for Coffee Break. See you again, friends. Don't forget to love yourself so you can love the world.